So this afternoon, after the morning at Osborne House, well, early afternoon at Osborne House, we're now doing our second English Heritage property of the day as we head to Carisbrooke Castle. Now, Carisbrooke Castle is a medieval castle, so I'll probably find this a bit more interesting than I found at Osborne House. And it is famously the home. It was famously the home of Charles I during the English Civil War, just after the English Civil War, because he was definitely imprisoned here by the parliamentarians. So we'll learn a bit more about the castle as we go around. And this is the worst moat in the world because it has the worst, the most obvious deterrent ever, a Josh. So this is the gatehouse, the great gatehouse to the castle. This is what would have stopped the baddies from getting in. It seems to be letting 2 baddies in right now, though.
Third one behind the camera.
2 baddies going into the castle.
The third one behind the camera. Pour oil on him.
Don't pour boiling sand on me, thank you.
Boiling sand.
Yeah.
What are those red dots?
That's all the seals of the people who signed it. So this is Charles I. Well, this is a reproduction of Charles I's death warrant. All the people underneath it who signed it. I think that's Cromwell, that one. All their seals next to it to prove that it was them who did it. I bet you when Charles II came in, some of those people got into a right bit of bother. Oh. That is Charles. You see that Princess Beatrice did this chapel for him, didn't she? So there's Charles I. How weird that we were a republic for a while, and then we just went straight back to being a monarchy. The church is very strange, the way it's just stuff on the side, isn't it? This is where they should have done the dance for the English Civil War song. Home of the Lords. So these buildings here in front of us are the home of the Lords and Captains and Governors of Carisbrooke. So you've got Carey's ruined mansion. Then a 2-storey building next to it is the Great Hall, which was originally built by Isabella de Fortibus or de Force in the 13th century. It's half term. There is a selection of games to play on the Royal Green in front of us here. But this house here, this is the Well House. Unfortunately, it's not open at the moment. But this was built in the 1580s and housed the wheel which brought up water from the well underneath. And the wheel was operated by donkeys. And they lift the water from 37 metres below. There's a thought that originally prisoners may have operated the wheel, but donkeys have been here since at least 1696, when one was noted by the traveller Celia Fiennes. Here's the World Jenga Championships. They could be sometime.
Many unbearable hours later.
I wouldn't.
Why did he pull the one that was pulling towards him? Hello, donkeys.
Hello. Aaron smells like you, Josh. Oh.
Hello, donkeys. So this is the keep, the stronghold of the castle, especially of the medieval castle anyway. Josh, it would be very difficult to attack said castle keep.
So that, plus you're wearing loads of armour and stuff.
Yeah.
I could not do that.
Last defence, so the keep is the last defence of the castle. So the centre of Carisbrooke Castle. So the keep is the centre of the castle. Oh, was the motte. In the centre of the Carisbrooke Castle was the motte, a high mound of earth crowned by the shell keep. It overlooked the walled bailey containing the main buildings of the castle. I wouldn't fancy being on guard duty up here very often. So this is the keep of the castle. Whew. That is quite strenuous. And there's the garderobe. which is the lavatorium. Oh, there's no flag. That's a shame. Some arrow loops. Oh, wow.
See the whole of the Isle of Wight. Oh gosh! Where?
So we've got
We found the
a beautiful view of the Isle of Wight. And what has my wife decided is the most important part of it is home bargains.
Home and Begsy.
Home bargains over there.
Adargos.
Something wrong with you. Imagine if they built a home bargains in International Drive, Lisa.
Dad, look, we're in the Dad,
What?
we're in the bed.
That must be a well for the people who are looking after the
It's the well the donkey was going.
So that's different well, but that must be a well for the people who were guarding the castle. Oh look, there's I wonder what that is over there. So on a clear day you can see the Spinnaker Tower from here. I think you might just be able to make it out if that's it over there. So royal prisoner. So Charles I was under house arrest at Carisbrooke Castle for 10 months in 1447 to 1448. At first he had the freedom of the island, but in early 1648, John Burley of Newport tried to free him and failed and was hanged. After that, Charles was confined to the castle. A cannon! The Carisbrooke Falcon! No, this is the Carisbrooke parish gun that Henry VIII demanded all every parish on the island had to provide and look after a gun. Wow. So here's some Carisbrooke Castle. So this is the chainmail of Peter de Hainaut, who apparently, according to local legend, killed a French commander and broke the only siege of the castle by firing at him with a crossbow. Not this crossbow, because this is from the 18th century. Wow, so this is what the castle would have looked like in medieval times, Josh.
It seems to be a surprising amount of like models like this that show what the castle would have looked like.
Yeah, well that's so that people can understand why. Oh, it's got a trebuchet in the middle of it for some reason.
So they'd have to go up that hill in heavy chainmail.
Yeah.
And go through that fence as well, which I don't think would have been very nice.
No.
For the French invaders.
I don't think it would have been. This is one of the reasons why the castle was never breached. I am a Puritan.
That is not the hollyhock.
Josh is going on crusade. You look more like someone from Monty Python's Holy Grail. Do 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 do. Why do they call it civil? Can I kill you? Sure.
No, can I kill you, please?
Can I kill you, please? Sure. Josh, unfair. Don't care. Oh, I'd need a Cavalier's hat for that, wouldn't I? And then let it go, and it fires it towards the castle. Wow, you direct shot on the castle wall, Ollie. And then fire at the castle wall. Bosh! You would make a very good medieval gunner. Yeah, but he was a king, so they probably still looked after him. Yeah, they looked after him until they chopped off his head. Off with his head. Looks like what prisoners have nowadays, except he's missing a PlayStation. 19th, oh, this isn't the right sort of bed. This is a 19th century Tudor bed. This is a Victorian reproduction. Charles I, as his bedroom window, his first escape attempt on the 20th of March 1648 failed after he became stuck in the bars of the window. I would get stuck in the bars of the window. Yeah. The original window was replaced in the Victorian era by the large Gothic style ones that we see today. That's quite ironic. Charles apparently said, "Where my head will pass, my body will follow." I wonder if he said the same when his head got chopped off. Well done, Ollie. That's when he was held prisoner here, wasn't it? 10 months it was. So up here is some stories about the island itself. Island stories. I might get copyrighted for medieval music. I can see a womble.
I can see Paddington.
Womble. Oh, basil brush. Boom, boom.
You know, there's like salt.
Isle of Wight rifles. 125 bombing attacks on the island.
214 people, right?
It had, and then up at the Needles Battery, they had the wireless and stuff like that, wireless stations. So this is some things about tourism on the island. Oh, cool. Camera. Pictures from the Needles. And Empress Eugenie's bathing shoes. So over here we've got a Coast Guard's helmet. See, they'd have used that during cliff rescues. And then behind it is a leather hat. So it's a 18th century man's broad-brimmed hat. And then over here on the right we have a Dragoon Guard's helmet. Isle of Wight rifles headgear. A shako for infantry. Colour sergeant's hat. Side cap worn by the Duke of York. A sealskin busby. And a Victorian doll's house. Oh my god, one of those things just moved.
Croissants and pretzels. Big stuff, kids.
Weird. Why? I didn't know we'd have pretzels. So now we're on the top of the bastion here, top of the castle walls here at Carisbrooke. So down there you can see some of the fortified positions.
And you can see they turned, don't they?
Yeah.
Cool.
So they could aim them. So here we can see excellent view of the castle interiors.
Wow. There's little gardens over there.
So you can see the guardhouse over there with the red roof, and the keep up there, which we've been to.
I didn't even know.
And then on the right there, that 4-storey building is the constable's lodgings.
Cool.
And then the little house, the little triangle roof there is the well house where the donkeys do the wheel. And there's a coach house at the back. And then this below us here is the Chapel of St. Nicholas. And then over here, this bit here, is Princess Beatrice's garden, from when Princess Beatrice turned this into a royal home in the 1700s, in the early 20th century. Ah, see, this is called Haynow's Loop. This bit here, this arrow loop here, and that is because the local rumour is that a constable called a soldier called Haynow shot the French commander who was trying to attack the castle in the 13th century or the 12th century, or the 14th century. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the 14th, wasn't it? Yeah. So Queen Elizabeth I appointed her cousin Sir George Carey to be captain of the island in 1582. And he improved the defences as tension mounted when a war with Spain loomed. By the 1580s, the old castle needed better defences to cope with artillery warfare, so Sir George cut down 2 12th century towers. The base of one is just in front of us here, so that's here. And we're standing on one of the new bastions, a platform for 5 heavy guns designed to fire at anyone brave enough. So this would have been used for 5 guns. Oh, you can see the ports here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 there.
Okay, well, cool.
But it looks like they've been blocked up over time, maybe, unless they were raised up quite high.
Well, hopefully
No, I think they've been blocked off because look, so they'd have been. Can't imagine too many people tried to attack the Carisbrooke Castle though.
Hopefully there's not. Hopefully the threat of Spanish of war with Spain is gone now.
Yeah, I hope so. So this is the view from the southern end of Carisbrooke Castle walls. So this is a sally port, I think, maybe, if it's not a more modern addition. Sally ports were used as ways for the defenders of the castle to get out and attack people who were on the outside, who were besieging them. Besiegers and the under siege. Oh, so this is the bowling green.
Oh.
So King Charles I may have enjoyed bowls on this green.
So
made for him when he was a prisoner here. Oh, interesting.
So he wasn't really a prisoner, was he? He was just like staying here for
Well, no, what they were saying, what I was reading over there was that when he was first in the castle, he was given the freedom of the island, but someone tried to help him escape the island, and that man got caught and executed. Yeah, but your mum might shout at us. No, we didn't do it. We just walked around the walls. She'll never know unless she watches the video, which she won't. So. Yeah, you're right. And don't forget, like in medieval times, if you were in a battle and you got taken prisoner, you would be taken to the person who took you prisoner to their castle, and then you'd be basically under ransom, but you'd still be treated as a guest in the castle. And they'd feed you well, and they'd probably let you go out hunting with them and stuff like that. And the point was that I think under chivalric rules, you wouldn't try to escape. So here we have some reproductions of some cannon. See what they're made of. What do you reckon? Wood? No. They might actually. They might not be reproductions. They might actually be proper cannon. So this is the East Bastion, one of the strongest places in all of Europe. Right, so high castle wars during the 16th century, 15th, 16th century, when they started to have gunpowder, they realised that high castle walls could easily be destroyed by artillery. So new ideas of how to defend the forts came into being. So they would use low defences to present a more difficult target and give earth ramparts to absorb the cannonballs and stuff like that. So this square of concrete here looks like where they would have stored cannonballs at some stage, because you've still got the little indentations into the concrete. So now we are going to exit the castle through the gift shop as per the rules when you come to places like this. But first we need to retrieve my wife and my other son, who are probably going to be whinging about how cold they are. Archery built in 1899. Cheerio, Carisbrooke Castle. Jail of Charles I. And as for any good attraction, exit through the gift shop. Exit through the gift shop. So I've found Carisbrooke Castle far more entertaining, far more interesting than I found Osborne House. There's probably a similar amount of things to do. I do think they're only half-a-day attractions at best for either of them. They're quite expensive. So it's like £19.60 for an adult to get into this castle. If you haven't got an English Heritage Pass, I would advise you to get one if you want to visit a castle. More than two properties a year, and I think it's cheaper. However, we live in the northwest, so it's probably not fantastic for us. We'll probably ditch it after this season and stick with our Cadw membership, which is the Welsh version, and we can go to a lot of the Welsh castles in North Wales on that, and it's considerably cheaper as well. But Carisbrooke Castle, yeah, far better than Osborne House. A lot more interesting things from my point of view. I'm far more interested in medieval history than I am Victoriana, so I found that this is much more to my taste. Mark out of 10, 7.5. Yeah, 8 maybe. Probably would have bumped it to an 8 if I'd have been able to see the donkeys on the well. Yeah. One last thing to say about coming to these sort of places is get out there and explore your world. You have been watching Munchy Road Hippopotamus. Thank you for joining us in our adventures. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy our channel, and tell us about any adventures that you have in the comments below. Get out there and explore your world.